welcome aboard to this episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end as we focus on each volume. We keep the discussion spoiler-free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week, we will be covering the first part of Volume 77, Smile, which covers chapters 764 through 769. My name is Joel, and I'll be your host. Joining me today, we have Evan.
What's up?
We have Cody.
Oh my god.
And we have Sean.
Hey.
Yeah, we have a familiar face here, and we are
Back
going to be
for a good
celebrating.
time, not for a long time. Don't get too excited, people who watch this. But
yeah, so we actually did have a listener reach out to us recently, and they were checking into, like, they wanted to know what happened to Sean. Sean's here, but
people actually listen to this.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Yes, they do.
But like, okay, we actually
They do, and they have demands.
yeah, they wanted more Sean, so we're meeting the demand. But yeah, Sean just had to step back. He's just a little transparency, like he's in a different time zone than us, and we record at a much later time
East
on his side. So, due to like scheduling, it's been like more difficult just to be able to like have Sean on a regular basis. But we did want to have Sean back in whenever he feels free. So Sean's always welcome on board. So he hasn't quit the podcast. It's just we've reduced the amount of appearances he's going to have, and we do hope to have him on for the season 2 live action as well.
I will return at sections of the manga that I find extremely cool, and for live action, and we'll see what I can do.
Yeah. But yeah, just kind of let everybody know kind of what's going on. But yeah, Sean's still part of our crew here, and we are excited to celebrate episode 100 of the podcast. And I think we're going to have a lot to talk about in this episode. So very exciting. So before we get into the recaps for the chapters, I'm going to read the summary from the beginning of the volume of where we left things off. The crew met a one-legged soldier who informed them of the nation's hidden darkness of Dressrosa, and decided to help the Little Tontadas in their fight for freedom. Luffy and Law head for the palace on the 4th step to face Doflamingo. Meanwhile, a collection of Colosseum gladiators who are after Doflamingo's head clash with the officers of the Don Quixote family. When Luffy and Law finally reach the 4th step, they square off in direct combat against Doflamingo. But secrets lie in the past of Law, the former officer, Corazon, and Doflamingo himself. I think we're going to find out what the secrets are. Okay, how about we dive into the first chapter of the volume, chapter 764, White Monster. Law was surprised to learn that Rocinante can talk. Rocinante also revealed that he had the Com fruit, which has the ability to create a soundproof area that blocks all sound coming in and out. Rocinante admitted to Law that his goal was to stop his brother's plans, describing Doflamingo as being evil. He told Law about the previous Corazon, Virgo, who was on his own top-secret mission. Rocinante went on to tell Law about those with the name D are considered the enemies of the gods. His theory was that they are the enemies of the celestial dragons, and their goal is the destruction of the world as they know it. Law didn't know anything about this and ran to tell Doflamingo about Rocinante. When Rocinante returned to the ship, he expected a confrontation with Doflamingo, but Law decided not to tell on Rocinante to return the favor when Rocinante didn't expose him previously. Doflamingo said that they needed to set sail, as Siru from the Navy somehow managed to sniff him out again. Rocinante left on a small boat with Law, leaving a note for Doflamingo telling him they want to find a cure. Rocinante checked in with Admiral Sengoku via transponder call, reporting little progress on trying to push the children out of Doflamingo's influence. During the call, Rising Star Virgo reported to Sengoku, requesting to be transferred to G5. Law suspected Rocinante as being involved with the Navy, but Rocinante denied it. After trying to get help at several hospitals and being chased out due to fear of Law's disease, Rocinante reflected on the past 6 months, feeling he failed Law. He shed tears over Law, who he thought was sleeping, but was not. The next morning, Rocinante received a call from Doflamingo. Okay, so we get some information here. Where do you guys want to start?
I love that Rocinante just immediately tries to kick Law in the face. like, or at the very least in the gut or something, or the legs, or I don't know. It's just like, well, shit. I guess I shouldn't have told him that. And then he just throws him in the dumpster. And also the whole, A+ panel, all an act.
Yeah.
Yes,
lighting
so
his
good.
finger on fire is fantastic.
Yeah, we believe that, Rosinante.
Yeah. And Rosinante has devil fruit powers.
Yeah.
Some more low key
And it's
ones.
silence from D&D.
Yes.
I cast silence.
I can't tell you how many times, having worked with children in education, that I wish I had this fruit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh my god! Every weekday, I'm like, this would be so nice.
Yeah. Was it like cone of silence? Is that like the teacher technique that people do? Like everybody cone of silence?
The quiet coyote.
Quiet coyote. Yeah, there we go.
I'll try cone of silence next time.
Yeah. Yeah. So up to this point, everybody thought that Rosinante was mute, but it looks like he was just holding back and putting on an act because they assumed that he couldn't talk. So he kind of just went with it. He didn't really like establish that he couldn't talk. It's just something that he didn't like do otherwise. But it kind of makes sense with this devil fruit as like an added layer that's also his fruit that he can just create quiet. It's pretty cool.
I do think it'd be very funny if like bearing like the fruit and like his general clumsiness, if at some point his fruit was like extra insurance, where if he accidentally like just fucked up and said something, it's like, nope, can't happen.
Yeah.
I have self-proofed this operation. We're set.
Yeah, or he's trying to sneak like a midnight snack in the middle of the night, and he like starts like tripping over like pots and pans and everything, so he can do that to like make not wake up everybody.
I mean, it probably is really useful because, like, I assume, you know, we see that he gave Sengoku a call like later in this chapter. I'm sure if anything he was like on the same ship as like Dofi or anybody else, like it's a really good way to avoid detection and things like that. I'm sure it does like actually make his operation easier.
I mean, it's an S+ devil fruit for a spy.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
what more could you ask for, really? Besides, I suppose, in total invisibility, but it's still like absolutely ace for what he's trying to do, honestly. So
Yeah.
And fits perfectly into his MO now.
Yep. We also get this little flashback within the flashback where we get more context as to the relationship between Rosinante and Doflamingo. So we see here that even though they're brothers, Rosinante doesn't really have the same affection for Doflamingo. Yeah, Sean, what do you think of their backstory of like where they came from? Because we found out previously that Doflamingo was a previous celestial dragon.
yeah, so this is a big reason of why I wanted to come back. I think this really adds a really cool twist to like, and it makes humanizes is perhaps the wrong word, but you see this like the celestial dragons up until this point, with like the one exception of Miosgard or something. Was that in Fishman
Yeah,
Island?
Miosgard.
Yeah, so there's sort of that, but they're almost all depicted as just these like big, fat, ugly, like horrible people with this. But then like his dad, it looks like he just looks like a nice guy. And so then it kind of is, so I don't know, doesn't mean beauty equals goodness and all that trope stuff, but it does show this certain different point of view of someone trying to get out of that system, and just how hard it is to get out of that system. And when you do, how fucked you are on both ends of the spectrum. And like, if I was among that crowd, I would happily be trying to kill. I would be shooting things at the father, not the kids. I'd let the kids down. Like, okay. But yeah, I don't blame them at all for killing this guy. I don't blame them in the slightest for doing it. Like, he represents the most horrific things possible that they've lived through. And it's just like the naivete of Doflamingo's father is just like baffling to me. But also, I guess it's just that's what he was lived in. He seriously thought he could get away with this. Like, just, oh, I'm just gonna be a normal person now. Don't worry. Don't mind me. It's like, no, you're a slaver. Like, yeah, it's wild stuff.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it took this turn, because even when he was trying to do what he thought was like the right thing and try to live a better life as a better person, his grasp of reality in the real world was not what he thought it was. Expecting to come into the world and be able to like integrate into it, but yeah, he was already like he doesn't belong in either world at this point. like this world is like unforgiving in both regards. So he was kind of like, in either case, he was not going to be able to achieve what he was hoping to. Like you could be like you can have like the ideals and hope for a better future, but that doesn't mean that the world's going to allow you to do that. Sometimes the world will just act against you.
I kind of feel like he should have, if he had a bit more sense, he was like, we're going to go live on an island, like a very remote island, and just hunt our own food and do it but he wanted the community with the other people.
Yeah.
And he didn't understand they didn't want the community with him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Jeff Bezos moving into like like
downtown, like
poor neighborhood,
Providence. So like, hey guys.
but like, he doesn't give up his wealth, but he's just like going around and like putting yachts like in like his backyard is like 5 yachts and everything. Everybody's like wondering why they're like getting vandalized like every night or something.
More than anything, just refusing to acknowledge his place in the privilege that he has, and the oppression of the people who have had to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's pretty brutal to watch too, because they have no sympathy for the kids, and now it's kind of like perpetrating this like cycle of like Doflamingo is expressing this hatred where we see Rocinante doesn't necessarily have the same experience or the same reaction that Doflamingo does. But I think it's also understandable that Doflamingo would still hate the world too. So like this experience as a kid where like they're trying to burn him alive, this like it kind of gives context to like why Doflamingo is the way that he is, and you can kind of understand where he's coming from. I'm not saying he's right, and I'm not saying he should be evil, but it makes sense why he would turn out the way that he did, especially because he already came from that mindset of being better than everybody, and now he just kind of like was doubling down and digging in even further in that direction.
Yeah, which is interesting to see Corazon being almost the polar opposite. Like they both come from the same background. They're both previously celestial dragons, but Corazon has this empathy that we see with Law in this chapter that just seems to be the polar opposite of Dofi, who has no empathy.
Right.
I'm wondering how much their age has to do with it. I mean, I'm sure it's also like different people, but it also raises the question, like this whole flashback of nature versus nurture. Because I think Dofi would have been like 8 to 10. So Rosinante would have been we're from 6 to 8. And it's not like the biggest difference, but it's a question of whether Doflamingo becoming that accustomed to it, and just like those little, not just that 2 years made the difference, but just like any little difference in how they were treated or how they treated things in Marie-Joie could have cascaded into this different effect. But I feel like age might have some effect on it. Maybe because Dofi is, I guess, more willing to enact himself upon the world, and Corazon is just younger and still figuring that part of himself out.
Yeah. But it's like Doflamingo had probably a little bit more time to be like in Marie-Joie to like more time lived there to be fully ingrained, whereas Rosinante might have been more formative when they moved out of Marie-Joie. So yeah. And then moving on, we also have a little bit more information about the name D. So we did find out that Law is also a D, and Rosinante warns Law not to go around spreading that information because they're considered the enemies of the gods. So just the fact that he's a member of the D family does kind of put a target on his back from certain powerful members in the world.
This is very cool. This is more Will of D development that I'm enjoying. It feels very like a prophecy coming true, or like the legend of the Will of D, and we're kind of putting faces to the Will of D and to the gods too now, with like this new look into the Celestial Dragons world and kind of their parallel to what might be considered the gods in that enemy of the gods quote.
Yeah,
it's cool. It feels like a prophecy coming true.
Yeah, one thing he also says is, if you view the Celestial Dragons as the gods in this case, then perhaps your people's goal is the very destruction of this world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, does that mean like the destruction of the world itself, or the destruction of the world as they know it?
Right. Either way, change will happen.
Evan, does this actually remind you of something we've had in the story previously? This Make anything come to mind?
Isho comes to mind a little bit. Also wanting like a shakeup in the world as we know it. Wanting to get rid of the 7 warlords and wanting to like kind of change how the power dynamic currently works. What were you thinking?
I was thinking Fishman Island.
Mm,
Because we had the prophecy from Charlie saying that Luffy would destroy Fishman Island.
right.
Was it just limited to Fishman Island, or is it something bigger?
Love that.
Oh, that's just where my mind
Yeah.
goes. I don't know if anybody else had the same thought.
No, totally.
You present the question, yeah.
But it's more like destroy the paradigm that is the power structure of this world than the actual
the
world
structure.
itself.
Okay.
But hey, who knows?
Yeah.
I think Luffy's capable of both.
Would be on brand.
And we also find out why Rosinante seems to hate kids. So it's kind of part of the act in a way, where he's purposely trying to like, bully them out of the Doflamingo family to discourage them from that kind of life. So he's trying to kind of save them in a way, in a roundabout way, but like doing it subtly.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be working very well, but it kind of gives a little bit more context as to why he's attacking kids like regularly.
I think we had predicted that last pod. I think we
Yeah,
did.
I think you you picked up on it. That's one of my favorite parts about Rosinante, honestly. The fact that like the cover it goes so deep that he's just he's gonna be that extra about it.
Well, he's again opposite of his brother in the sense that he's like the passive, quiet, actions speak louder than words, very like subtle. Like he's also like, pulling strings behind the curtain like Dofi, but it's a much more like subtle and passive, quiet way where Dofi's like more loud, performative,
right.
big shows of domination.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good distinction with them, because we've seen moments where we're like, why would Doflamingo pull out a gun to shoot Law on the street? It's because it's more showy and performative that way. So yeah, I think that lines up. We also see that Rosinante is actively working with Navy. So yeah, would you guys think of this development?
I'm a little more disappointed in him, but it is what it is. Just have to tolerate it, I guess. It's better than working with Doflamingo by a bit.
Right. I don't know if it's working for the government so much as working against Dofi,
Yeah,
like, I feel like
you
this
can
guy
make
is
the
a
argument,
menace.
I'm using their resources to which, he's better than Garp. So he is.
Yeah, I choose to look at like a Smoker Kobe kind of person. And it's a fictional story, so I'm able to.
I like their codes. It's like crackers, cookies. It's me.
Yeah.
Evan answered Joel's checking about the podcast with cookies today.
Yeah.
He committed.
Cookies.
I should have said crackers.
Good to go. That's a funny bit.
It was very good.
Yeah, so we got Corazon secretly Navy and Virgo secretly Don Quixote.
Yeah.
Both.
And we find out that Virgo is actually the previous Corazon. So the title's been passed down. And even then, he's getting food stuck to his cheek.
An egg this time.
Yeah.
He never answered Sengoku's question about it either.
But even then, he was trying to get transferred to G5. So we actually see how long that con has been in process.
Yeah. You get to see Dofi's corruption runs deep. Like he's got, people everywhere.
And then we have this sequence where Rosinante is desperately trying to help Law find a cure. So he tries to remove Law from Doflamingo's influence and takes upon himself to find a cure for Law. So what do you guys think of the sequence in general?
I love Rosinante so much for this.
Yeah. He cares.
We're going to go to every goddamn hospital we can find, kid. Oh, shit. None of them were. Okay. Well, we'll try the next one.
This one's big.
This one's big.
It's tough. I feel like Law had already kind of like come to terms with his mortality, and it's got to be. This is like kind of rubbing it back, like bringing it all back up for him, which I feel like has to be really difficult. And then Rosinante's frustration with not getting the care that Law deserves here.
He just starts. I love he just blows them all up.
He starts just beating people up.
Why didn't you?
Just carries
Hello,
them off
world
by the back of
government.
his
Why
shirt.
didn't you finish exterminating the survivors of the planet? Big misstep on your part.
Yeah, I find it very touching that Rosinante is trying so hard to not give up and have Law not give up. He's trying to basically go to every hospital that they can find and hope that one of them can help them. Law kind of knows the reality, like Evan was saying, like he's come to terms with it. Like he has a medical background, so he knows his condition. But still, like it is touching to see Rosinante go to such lengths to try to help Law. And then we get the moment where he breaks down crying while Law is trying to go to sleep. And I think this is a great moment where we kind of see humanity from both of them, where Rosinante is crying because he feels he's been unable to help Law, and he feels like he's failed him, and he doesn't realize that Law is awake. And the fact that Law starts to cry as well in his sleep, I think it shows that Rosinante broke through to Law in a way, because when Law first came to Doflamingo, he just wanted to destroy everything. He gave up on life, and he had a lot of hatred in his heart. And now I think we see that Law's starting to soften and become he's becoming human again, where he starts to have like that sensitivity, he's starting to care about things. And I think the fact we see him cry here shows that Rosinante really did have an effect on him.
So I have a very personal connection to this scene. And Joel, if this isn't something you want to put on the actual video, feel free to cut it out. A little while before I moved out to LA and met Joel, I actually had a pretty rough event happen to me. I was probably like the angriest I had ever been. I probably had like the least faith in people that I ever had. And I think like, you know, at this time I'd been thinking about like, okay, moving to LA, acting. Oh, wow. It would be great to be on One Piece and think about Law. And I think like another party in this event, for some reason, I just like got like this Doflamingo analog to them. Just a lot of selfishness, a lot of just think about like how some people can like just be so deeply terrible to the depths of their soul, even when, you know, they may have like a brother they care about or anything like that. And I think there's one day I was just really, really, really deep in the rage and the confusion and the sadness of it all, looking to Law's backstory or something. And I just remember the Cora Zone panel, and I had been in a job where I was working with middle schoolers, and I guess having been in a mentorship position with them, as I start reading this, I think of some of those situations where Rosinante's like, yeah, you and every other kid in the world, like just like the way Rosinante talked to Law, the way that they interacted, remind me of like everything I'd been doing in the past year, but also just like Law's rage, Law's lack of faith in people, everything that he had come into the situation of being part of the Don Quixote family with, I also identified with at the same time. So in like that really, really dark place for me, both of these characters, there was something that I just found. I don't know if I felt seen by Oda, but there was just something that I was able to really find myself in, and grieve through. And like, as I reread this and saw just the love that Rosinante showed for Law, the fact that Rosinante was going to try and do something about the situation that Law had no control over, Rosinante had no obligation to fix, but just wanted to because he didn't want Law to go down the same path that his brother did. Something about that just really touched me when we get to Rosinante questioning himself or just lamenting the situation and saying, God, did I just make you go through the same trauma? Is there really no way out of it? Everything just came out of me. Everything that I was holding on to just came tumbling out of me. But I think that was the moment when I started to like actually get past what had happened. And so, yeah, this is one of my favorite moments in the series for that. And I can't thank Oda enough for writing this character for that. And Rosinante, seeing a character like this, I know it's fiction. I know it's not an actual person showing this much care, but it did give me faith in people again. And so yeah, very happy. If you want me to give a condensed version of that, I can.
No, I appreciate you sharing, and I'm sorry about your experience. That's the thing about One Piece. Like, I'm glad that you're able to find a way to cope through the series and ways to relate to it. And I think that's part of the strength of the series, and that's why I like to say that like the series means something different to everybody, and like everybody's experience is gonna be different, and what you get out of the series is gonna be different. So, because of your personal experiences, like you experience this like the scene in a different way, in a personal way. So, I think I think that just helps to show like how much One Piece can mean to people, and that's why it's important. And like, yeah, it's a series and it's meant to be fun, but there's also a lot of things that you can pull from it to relate to your own life, and there's a lot of reality in that way too. Yeah, again, I appreciate you, sharing your story. Hopefully, things are going better.
Way better.
I think like a really beautiful way that this backstory is told is through the eyes of Rosinante, seen, who's gone through the same things his brother has gone through, and it almost feels like he couldn't save his brother, but he sees an opportunity to save Law from going down that same path because they have similar backstories where their worlds were burned in front of their eyes and they snapped. And it wasn't like a slow realization. It was like an instantaneous moment where all of a sudden they wanted to burn the world to the ground. And that's an extreme emotion that you can't, it's like a one-way road, right? Like you can't turn back. It's like Law was struggling to see any other future for himself. And I think Cora comes in and has hope and is incessantly trying to make that hope a reality and save Law. And I think he does get through to Law. And like you said, like Law kind of has this realization that maybe there isn't hope, but there is still love. Like this person cares for him, and he hasn't had a familial connection in a very long time. Cora hasn't had a familial connection in a very long time. And I think they do find some kind of found family here. And I think Law is able to turn around in that path that he was going.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Do we have anything else in this chapter? Do we want to move on? Okay. Also, just real quick, in the SBS, Oda does actually shout out to Kohei Horikoshi, who is the writer and artist for My Hero Academia. So he actually had written into One Piece before it submitted art. Over here, he mentions how My Hero Academia became part of Shonen Jump as well. So it's cool that he's kind of shouting out like how he started out with his series here. And actually, I just finished reading My Hero Academia. I had like a few volumes like stacked up. I read like the last 4 over the Christmas break. So
Nice. Is that series concluded?
Yeah, I finished. Yeah.
Wow, cool. How many volumes was it?
42, 43, something like that.
42. Just
42. There we go.
Cool.
All right. Moving on to the solitary journey of Jinbei, First on the Sea, Volume 13. Suddenly the ruins destroyed our town, the creatures destroyed our ships, and the offerings disappeared. Jinbei continues his investigation, learning more information about what has been happening from the townspeople.
Jinbei Columbo, I love it. Just one more thing.
So just find out what he can. These ruins that just got thrown into the town somehow. Okay, let's get into the chapter. Chapter 765, Minion, the Isle of Fate. Doflamingo called to check in on Rocinante and Law, telling them to come back as he had a lead on the Op fruit. A pirate had obtained the fruit, and the government was operating in the shadow to make a deal. But Doflamingo intended to get his hands on the fruit to give to Rocinante, unaware that he already had a devil fruit. Off the call, Doflamingo and his officers noted that the Navy hadn't bothered them since Rocinante disappeared, leaving them suspicious. Rocinante was aware that using the fruit to grant immortality requires the user to sacrifice their own life, so he knew Doflamingo planned on killing him anyway, but he saw this as an opportunity to get the fruit for Law instead. Rocinante called on Sengoku on the transponder snail and confirmed the Navy was making a deal for the fruit, and obtained the details after informing them Doflamingo was planning on stealing the fruit first. The deal is to take place on Rubec in 3 weeks, 3 days before the entire Doflamingo family is planning on gathering on the nearby Swallow Island. Then, Rocinante made a plan with the Navy to take down the entire Doflamingo family that day and expose all the partners Doflamingo had been working with on the black market. Suddenly, Law's conditions seemed to worsen. Rocinante sailed to Minion Island, where the pirate crew with the op fruit was hiding out nearby before making the deal. The pirate who obtained the fruit was Diaz Barrels, a former Navy officer. Rocinante managed to infiltrate the base with the aid of his devil fruit, but before he could get away, he was surrounded by some of the pirates. Okay, thoughts on this one?
I think the fact
Sengoku
that
spit. Oh, sorry, no.
no,
I
you
just
go ahead,
wanted to-
Sean.
I just wanted to do a Sengoku spit take. Was
Please do.
how did you? That's it. Go on.
I think so. Corazon gets this call, and he immediately speculates that Dofi's onto him, and yet he still goes through with it, knowing that it could potentially be a trap. And I think that just kind of goes to show how desperate he is to help Law here, because he kind of is like, he probably knows what I'm up to, and this could be a trap, but he still kind of goes forward with plans anyways and leaks it to the Navy.
Yeah, but I think he also gets there early to get the drop on them. So, but yeah, he is still planning on betraying them, but he also wants to get to the fruit first. So I think he gets there ahead of schedule, so that way he can get there before Doflamingo. But then, yeah, like if everything works out correctly, then they'd be able to then turn around and then capture Doflamingo with the Navy. It is interesting to see here that they did have suspicions on about Rocinante, because it seemed like he was the reason why Suru was always on their tail, because he was leaking their information. He was kind of helping the Navy to try to capture Doflamingo, but they kept getting away. But now that Rocinante isn't there, that's not happening. So Doflamingo already had his suspicions. It does seem, though, that Doflamingo was willing to sacrifice his own brother, though, if he was going to give him the fruit, the intention of getting the immortality. So, like, is this because he suspected his brother was betraying him? So is he going to do this in retaliation? Or like, was this always the plan?
I guess
I
my
don't
question is, how would he? I mean, well, no, maybe he could. Sorry, I was going to say my question is, how could he force someone to give the surgery? But we've seen him force people to do things with the parasite string, so never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
we did have that conversation. That was because that's crazy.
But now he also has leverage, because it seems that Rocinante is becoming attached to Law. So maybe he could also use Law as like a bargaining chip.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, if Rocinante ate it, he would explode.
This does seem to give a possibility for Law, though, because
Right.
well, we do know who ends up with the fruit, but this does seem to give Law a way to help with his disease.
Rejoice, Law.
I like how happy he is in this panel. He's so excited.
Yeah.
Then everything goes to shit.
Yeah, he's in a jam. He's in a real tight spot.
Yeah, so he decides to try to infiltrate the pirates' stronghold, and we see this pirate, Diaz Barrels, who is a former Navy person. Evan, does this remind you of anybody?
Oh no. Pop quiz. Those sideburns. I'm drawing a blank.
He's got the sideburns, he's got the chin.
The chin's a big one.
I just Googled it. I definitely didn't know this. So
It's not full body, is it?
Nah.
Who is it?
So there's this character here that he yells for their name. He says, "Hey, Drie, bring more grog." So Drie is this pirate's son. This pirate's son is Diaz Drake,
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
who's also a former Navy person who turned to a pirate. So like father, like son.
Cool.
His
His father was kind of a shit pirate, though. I mean,
Yeah.
And a bad dad.
And a bad dad. Oh no.
Yeah, I thought this was a fun little connection here.
Mm.
And then I like
Fruit.
Rosinante demonstrating his devil fruit powers, where he's like, "Look, it's fine." He starts like smashing like the base.
He shoots a fucking RPG. Like, dude, calm down. I get it. I get what it does at this.
He's just such a goober, though. It's nice, like giving Law such levity, like in this situation. It's so sweet of him.
Yeah. Yeah, because even like before this, like Rosinante seemed like such a serious, like quiet character, but now we see he is kind of like a big goofball.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see like this lighthearted side of him. And we talked about before how his fruit lends itself to being like perfect for like a spy. And we see here they're saying, "Hey, Captain, the mansion somehow it blew up without a sound." So he was able to like cause this destruction without actually getting their attention until like it was kind of too late. So he already did a lot of damage before anybody even noticed. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool aspect of the ability that any sound that you make is silent, not just like a periphery or a bubble of silence. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, it's cool too how I think the how the silent fruit like does create that bubble, which is very reminiscent of Lost Room.
Yeah.
And then I think be able to like just carry it through kind of seems like the ejection shots and the other attacks Law's done too. So it's cool to see like these little parallels between them. It's so nice.
Cody, I think did you move your mic or something?
Oh,
your mic quality just dropped by like 50%. Yeah. Your sound quality.
It got unplugged. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I can fix that.
Also, I really want to draw attention to the 4th page from the end of this chapter. We get a panel where Law has some spiteful words. He says, "What a stupid, useless power." And the speech bubble actually impales Cora through the heart.
Baby arms is way cooler. I know, I'm jealous of her.
Damn, I know, I'm jealous.
That's so funny. Another through and
incredible. Another through and through. 100 episodes and 100 through and throughs.
Yep.
To 100 more.
And 100 more.
Yeah, and I like how we have this moment where Rosinante says, "I did it, Law. It's the op fruit. We can cure your disease." And he has like these tears of joy, but then he takes a tumble. But it's just like the fact that like he looks so like relieved to be able to help Law. It's very very heartwarming. Okay. Anything else for this one?
Good.
Okay. And then before we get into the next chapter, the cover art for chapter 766 is actually an homage to Naruto. I believe this is the chapter that came out when Naruto ended.
Yes. Yeah. So good. I love
it. Yeah, we get little references here. So it looks like Luffy's having a bowl of ramen with Naruto, who's covered by, I don't know if this is Nami or it's supposed to be some generic waitress, but who has like the hidden leaf
who can tell
design on her dress.
Yeah.
We get like this little like Tanuki thing with like the Naruto swirl like on his the back of his jacket. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. It's like they traded lunches. Perfect.
Yeah, because Naruto has like this big chunk of meat.
Yeah. It's perfect.
And we have Chopper, who looks very happy as well.
I thought that the waitress was wearing like a Akatsuki for a second, but it's the hidden leaf, not the clouds.
Hidden leaf.
But it's kind of the same pattern, though. It's like
a little more cloud shaped than you normally see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is neat.
This is very cool. Naruto was like my gateway into anime and manga, so
yeah, I thought you'd appreciate this one.
Near and dear.
To think a ninja and a pirate could share a meal together.
Cody, I'm sorry, did you have something too?
I just said Evan was cosplaying Naruto the first time I met him.
Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, so let's get to the chapter. Chapter 766, Smile. Tsuru's forces gathered around Smile Island with no sign of Doflamingo, which made her question the intel Sengoku received. Rosinante managed to escape Barrel's crew and got the op fruit to Law to have him eat it. After shoving the fruit down Law's throat, Rosinante collapsed, revealing multiple gunshot wounds. Law, unfamiliar with his new powers, tried to help Rosinante, They told him his powers aren't magic. He hands Law a container with information to hand over to anyone he sees from the Navy, which could help the kingdom of Dressrosa. Law found a Navy soldier, which happened to be Virgo. Law begged him to help, bringing him to Rocinante. They both recognized the other, causing Rocinante to accidentally slip that he could speak. Rocinante realized infiltrating the Navy must have been Virgo's secret mission. Virgo crushed the container, then attacked Rocinante. Virgo read the note inside the container, learning what information Rocinante was going to use to incriminate the Don Quixote family. Doflamingo had noticed the Navy gathering near Swallow Island and already suspected his brother betrayed him, but Virgo confirmed it for him. Doflamingo and his crew arrived on Minion Island only to learn the Oppop fruit was already stolen. He created a birdcage around the island to prevent them from escaping. Rocinante realized he is going to die, but he is determined to save Law and do it with a smile on his face so Law could remember him fondly.
Well.
Wait, so which one is Swallow Island?
To the south. Was that a joke that I'm missing? Oh, wow. It literally is bird shaped. I didn't even notice that.
An aptly named island, I would say.
Funnily enough, that's actually Minion Island.
I can see why you get confused, though.
It's impressive that it's shaped like that from the side and from the top.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah. It's like one of those art pieces, like from different angles.
But yeah, I mean, if you look at the bottom part, it does have like the bird tail too. So yeah, it lines up because like we see the map from the top down view. That's funny.
What do you think we should name this island?
Yeah, so the sequence where Rocinante shoves the fruit down Law's throat is pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, sorry, I mean, we don't get to see him take a big bite at it. He has to eat the whole thing, like.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know you wanted to see more devil fruit bites, but.
Yeah, this one's heart shaped, which is also kind of perfect.
Yeah,
just fits all the themes,
right?
Yeah.
That's why Doflamingo wanted him to have it. But yeah, we see that Rocinante was actually shot, so he didn't make it out unscathed. But he risked his life to try to help Law, and we see, yeah, his whole body is kind of full of like gunshot wounds, which is pretty rough to see.
Yeah,
which begs the question: how the fuck did he get out of there? Like, still like and kill them all? Apparently, or am I misinterpreting like all those bodies on the?
I mean, I think he took out most of them at least.
I guess he's just that badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, we did kind of gloss over it, but he's actually a commander in the Navy. So he does have some kind of rank. Not sure what his actual fighting capabilities are, but presumably he has some kind of basic fighting capability.
But it shows that he's willing to sacrifice himself to get the mission accomplished. He could have given it up, like he could have saved himself or turned back or whatever, but he fought through it, even though he knew it probably cost him.
Yeah, because we know that he was desperately trying to help Law, and he spent all that time, and he was trying to see it through, and now that he has the fruit, and he knew this could help Law, he wanted to make sure to get it back to him, so that way it was worth it.
This part where Law's trying to just say, get better, just trying to figure out how the hell to use this problem.
Right.
But it hurts so much, though.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Because just with how transactional a person Law is, and the way we've seen like him forming the alliance with Luffy, or just the way that so many of like part of this plan involved a deal, right? Or even when he's saying, "Oh, listen, you didn't tell Dofi on me, I won't tell on you," right? Yeah. It just feels like the kind of thing where he's gonna feel like, "Oh, I didn't live up to my end of the deal," even though it wasn't a deal, even though it was just this guy taking care of him. That feels like it's gonna be just such a big mark on him.
Yeah, I owe this guy now.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, you got shot because of me. This is my fault." Right? It's
Oh, this poor kid.
And Rocinante seems to realize, he doesn't have long to live, so he puts this container in Law's hands. So it's a tube of the intel that he received to help the Kingdom of Dressrosa, which is what we're currently covering in the story. But it's fun to see like that even back then there's this little plot point going on that connects us to the major events happening in Dressrosa. So this is just like a little seed that was kind of put into place here. Unfortunately, Law finds the worst possible person to give this container to, where it's the spy from Doflamingo's ranks, Virgo.
You can't write this. I mean, come on.
And somehow.
And does he have a little octopus hot dog in his beard?
Of course he does.
I think so. That's right. I didn't even notice that one.
Yeah. Tough luck here.
Yeah, and then Rosante accidentally shouts Virgo. And he's like, wait, did you just talk?
Whoops.
I mean, that probably would have gone sideways either way.
Regardless, but yeah, it just accelerated the...
It accelerated for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, then we get the rest of the Don Quixote family arriving, only to learn that the fruit is already gone, and they think that Corazon must have taken it, so they kind of put two and two together. So things are just kind of falling apart. So in order to stop them from getting away, not realizing that Law already ate the fruit, Doflamingo sets up the birdcage and puts the island on lockdown, which we've seen the birdcage go into effect in the story right now. So we know how devastating that is and like how serious it is when Doflamingo brings that out.
Yep. I hate the Don Quixote family, but this entrance panel goes hard though.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
Also, side note, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I looked at the cover of this volume, and those are Pika's shoulders.
Yeah.
He's not wearing shoulder pads. Like, those are his shoulders.
The bones.
You're right. Yeah.
Which I just realized, and that's crazy to me.
Yeah, thankfully this cover is safe. You can look at this cover. There's you've seen everybody here, so
yeah,
you're good.
I try not to look, but it's hard.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah.
So wait, if we've talked about this before, but do you just like find the right spine on your shelf, close your eyes, take it down, feel for the cover, open it, and you're like, okay, well that's gonna be like the title page. That's probably another one, and that's the credit. Okay, we're good. Is that what you do every week?
He opens up to the last page.
Yeah. I read it left to right.
Yeah, Cody, we told him to do that.
You made this monster.
Do it.
You created this.
Like, oh, you believed me?
No, I respect the commitment. It's just, wow. Good guy, Evan.
Well, I mean, I just confessed that I didn't do that, so it's not a flawless.
Only this time.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
Plan.
But you have something to look forward to when you finish the volume. Like, oh, I can look at the cover.
Yeah. Well, it is cool because I see people in color. So I'm like, oh, this person has purple hair. Like, I didn't. Yeah. Who knew?
Yeah.
Sugar has teal hair.
Yep. You can see that they're curly grapes now.
Pika has purple hair. Yeah. And Gladius has like silver hair, which is cool.
Yeah. Here you got.
That's gotta be a Saiyan reference.
Probably.
And then we do end this chapter where this makes me crack up. How like we get the internal thoughts for Rocinante here. How he's like trying to have like the sentimental moment and trying to have this like, endearing smile for Law, and he just has like this goofy like creepy smile, and it like shocks Law.
I love him. Stupid.
Yeah.
Like, ah. It's like I want you to think back on this face when you remember me.
And Law's face on the panel right before it too.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
Ooh. Yeah, that's just really funny to me.
And the sound effect is grung. What does that even mean?
Okay, we good to move on?
Yeah.
We good.
Okay, so next up we have The Solitary Journey of Jinbei, First on the Sea, Volume 14, The Mountain of Offerings, Appearance of the Ruins, and Furious Sea Creatures. Jinbei takes a small boat with some of the locals to find the offerings to the sea gods is missing.
Uh-oh.
So you
What
can
is
tell it's
that
missing
speech
because
bubble?
there's nothing there where we have the little lines showing up over here.
I don't know what that speech bubble is supposed to mean.
I think I think it's supposed to be the fish were supposed to be there. Maybe it was like an offering of fish, like a big pile of fish, and now it's gone.
Maybe they're saying there's supposed to be a pile of fish there.
Yeah. Something's
thought it was
fishy
like-
about this.
Yeah.
I thought it was like an ellipsis written vertically.
Could be.
You think? Maybe.
That's my first thought.
Does he normally do that many though?
I don't know.
Oh, but see, okay, so there's 5 lines above the like altar. There's 5 fish in there. So there's actually supposed to be 5 fish there, but that they aren't.
Okay. That does
There
feel
are the
intentional.
fish.
I'm just making a connection that's probably not there.
I'm sure Jinbei will figure it out.
We have faith in him. But let's move on to the chapter with chapter 767, Cora. Even as a young boy, Doflamingo exhibited Haki of the Supreme King and was taken in by trouble after he shot and killed his own father. Back on Minion Island, Doflamingo used the birdcage to have the pirates kill each other. Drie managed to avoid getting caught in the birdcage and ran for safety, escaping from his father. As the Don Quixote family raids the pirates' treasures, Baby 5 intercepts a Navy transmission reporting they found a young boy. They assume it must be Law. Rocinante actually hid Law inside of a chest and used his devil fruit powers to prevent any sound he made. Rocinante laid against the chest as Doflamingo approached him. Sengoku had found the then orphaned Rocinante as a kid and took him in, raising him to join the Navy. Rocinante used his naval code, revealing to both Doflamingo and Law that he was a commander in the Navy. He infiltrated the Don Quixote family with the intention of taking them down. Doflamingo questioned Rocinante about where the fruit and Law are. Rocinante admitted that he already fed the fruit to Law, but he lied about Law already escaping the birdcage. Baby 5 and Buffalo seemed to corroborate this by reporting that the Navy found a boy. Doflamingo wanted to retrieve Law so he could raise him to use his powers on him, which would cost his life. Rocinante and Doflamingo pointed their pistols at each other, but Doflamingo was confident that his brother was too much like his father and wouldn't pull the trigger. Law began to realize Rocinante was going to be killed, and that Rocinante reassured him that Doflamingo wouldn't kill his brother just to put his mind at ease. He told Law that they would meet in the next town and that he loved him. He trapped him in the chest so he could slip away later. Rocinante announced that Law will not follow in Doflamingo's footsteps and was free. Doflamingo shot Rocinante. The chest that Law hid in got picked up and carried away. When the treasure was being loaded onto the ship, Law slipped out when no one was looking. Rocinante held out as long as he could to keep his devil power in effect for Law, preventing his crying from being heard. As Rocinante let out his last breath and the snow began to cover his body, Law's crying was drowned out by the sounds of the cannon fire from Suru's battleship.
It never doesn't hurt.
All right, where do you guys want to start?
I think we got to start with Cody.
I don't even know what to say at this point. I'll be honest with you. It's just even in his last moments, he wanted to give Law hope. He just wanted to give Law something to believe in. He's just such a good guy. I really, I don't have a ton to say. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, that's fair.
I love that even in the like 2 pages from this tragedy, the I love you and Law just like being like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
Yeah, goof.
Oof. But
Well,
yeah,
again, I
that's
think
what
it-
hurt. Yeah, because like we talked about how like they've been developing this bond. Like they've spent a lot of time together these past like 6 months or so. Rocinante already knows he's going to die. He's fully committed to saving Law at this point. But he does give him that false sense of hope that like, yeah, we're gonna make it out of this together. But the fact that he reassures Law and then he tells him that he loves him, yeah, this is where it hurts so much. And it's so endearing to see like how this relationship has like developed and like the care that Rosante had for Law.
Mhm.
And yeah, we get the goofy smile, which again, nice callback to how we again, like in his mind, he's like, this is how I want him to remember me. Like this is the last time he's gonna see my face, and this is how I want him to remember me. So it's just so funny that like he probably thinks like it came out like perfect, and like he just looks like a big goof again. But yeah, it's like hilarious and tragic at the same time.
It is just so nice to see Law get to smile for a second.
Yeah,
Because you only get to see it. Just it only happens a couple times in this backstory, but when it does, he needs it at this point.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
then
the way
like
this plays out is just another Oda classic backstory, tear your heart out, like devastating ending
yeah,
where Law is forced to listen to this go down while crying out, but can't be heard. And then the fact that as Corzin goes down and the sound starts to come back, like that hit really hard. And I
yeah.
think that was like very poetic and tragic.
That's so beautifully done.
Yeah.
And one thing I thought was great is like how well it's portrayed here, because we see him like heavily breathing, he's like wheezing, and we see he's smiling, and we see like the like effect over him, and
Mhm.
so like that's how we know the exact moment where it starts to fade out, and then we see Law's crying start. Well, we see like the is like still in effect, but then like Law starts to cry, and then the cannons fire, and then the next panel we see Rosinante, it's gone, and we see like his face is starting to get covered, so we know he's dead at that point. And then we see Law's crying start to actually like the sound came back, but it's now drowned out by like the loud cannon. So he got saved by the fact that the Navy was like launching the cannons. Otherwise, they probably would have heard him crying and wailing as he tried to get away from the chest. So yeah, I just felt like that whole sequence was done like so beautifully.
Yeah. It reads really well. Like it makes sense.
Because even like when Law's walking away, like in the bottom right corner on the previous page, we see like the like going above him. So we see like there's no crying sound coming out. So like he's walking around, we can see like he's crying, but there's no like wah, like that's not happening. And this is like part of where I I think the creativity of the manga like really shines, because like in the anime, yeah, like it's gonna be clear like how it's being done, but the
Right.
manga has to be a little bit more creative with how it's portraying sound. So I think it's just like a really cool way to actually portray that.
Yeah.
Like it's not even anything that's just technically difficult or super mind-blowing, but it's just a very well done application of something of just fundamental stuff.
Yeah, it's just very
And such
thoughtfully done.
and such a delicate scene too. Like you don't want it to be too over the top obvious, like because you're also trying
Yeah.
to keep the emotion and the gripping, part of the scene. Yeah.
Yeah,
was
it
well
kind of
done.
lets you like process and start to grieve as well.
Mhm.
And it's also like heartbreaking to see like when they're actually having like the shootout, like the fact that Doflamingo knows his brother isn't going to pull the trigger. Like Doflamingo was willing to do it, and then Rosinante, he's not pulling the trigger. Like he could also make the decision to pull the trigger for Law, but he also knows that like he's already been shot, and he's probably not going to make it out anyway. But then like just watching this happen, and then having like the silhouettes and watching as Rosinante's body like hits the very chest that Law is hiding in. So that's like it's, like traumatizing for Law to have to experience that from. He can't really see what's happening, and he can only experience like the sounds and like the shaking. It's almost like it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the toy soldier, where like he couldn't cry when Scarlet was killed, so he couldn't fully express like
Mm.
the tears and the sadness. Like a lot in the way is also he's still able to like express like the crying, but it's muted in a way, so he's not getting the full expression. So it's like a way that like they kind of have to quietly deal with this loss without actually like being having anybody else to express it with, so that they kind of have to just quietly deal with it on their own. And yeah, I just that's just kind of what came to mind to me for the sequence. So let's go back up to the first page of this chapter, where we get a little flashback again, where we have the scene with Virgo, Treble, and young Rosante, young Doflamingo. We see the actual moment where Doflamingo pulls a gun on his father. So, what do you guys think of the scene?
So, I mean, we knew this was going to we knew this happened, so that it wasn't shocking to know that Dofi did this, but the manner in which he did it is insane to me. Like an execution style assassination
Yeah.
is wild to me. But I also wonder if that was part of the Celestial Dragon culture because of Doflamingo's use of of pistols and like finishing people off with a pistol. And I think later, I don't know if it was in this chapter or the next chapter, but he says like assassinations are done in lead or something like that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it was like part of the celestial culture to do this sort of execution style.
It feels to me like I'm not the one actually doing it. I'm just pressing the thing that's going to do it. Like I'm not killing the person. The gun's killing the person, which to me is just seems like we see Doflamingo, and like maybe this could be a general celestial dragon thing, but for Doflamingo specifically, a lot of he'll always rationalize, oh, this wasn't actually my fault. Oh no, it was actually this person. No, you're the one who got yourself into this mess, Bellamy, for example. To me, like the fondness for guns feels like an extension of that.
I also wonder if it's just like the precision of it or the like practicality of it.
Yeah, because I mean,
like what's the
he's
word?
not like because it's not like he's going in like punching him like with his bare hands or like choke him out or anything like that. So there's kind of like that one step removed way of performing this.
It's like efficient. It's like an efficient way of doing it.
Yeah, like I'm committed to this, and like there's no going back. It's just final.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's messed up.
How about you, Sean?
It's just like there's a brutal, like poetic painting-like quality to this. Just like it's like high tragedy Shakespearean style that just like always hit me. And I really, I just as a panel, it just really like it really both the you can't make it right anymore and the close up and the Rocinante crying, and it's just like it feels like this was an inevitability that is just like we're now coming full circle on, and it just there's really a Hamlet level thing here that I kind of can't help but love as an English major. Just like an absolute Greek tragedy thing. Like
yeah.
I
think this is like also kind of the moment that really divides Doflamingo from Rocinante, because clearly his brother doesn't want him to do this, but Doflamingo,
his father's literally holding Rocinante as this happened. It's like
Yeah.
it's like Rocinate's probably the blood and or brains and or teeth of his father landed on Doflamingo's Rocinate's face after the trigger was pulled. Like depending on how strong the bullet was, like I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like it's so fucked.
Yeah. And then just like the panel too, where he apologized. He's like, "I'm sorry that you both had me as a father." So like there's something about him. So again, we did talk about how it was unrealistic for him to integrate into like the regular world, but there's like a retrospective or reflective quality to homing here that it was not prevalent with the other celestial dragons, because like he has like this remorse, he has this like humanity that he wanted to experience, and unfortunately it's just like it was not going to work out. And in this case here, he's gotten to the point where even his own son is so integrated into like the mindset of being a celestial dragon and not wanting to be like the regular people. So he sees his father as a failure for bringing him to this world. So he has this hatred for his father for what he sees as ruining his life, and trying to, he basically took away what he felt was his right to be like a god in this world. Yeah, the fact that he apologizes to his sons, like, "I'm sorry that you had me as a father," like that's also pretty heartbreaking, as like his last words before Doflamingo pulls the trigger on him.
Yeah, that's brutal. His heart was in the right place, but he clearly has regret.
Yeah. But one thing that's also interesting here is it looks like Doflamingo's already exhibiting the quality of having the Haki of the Supreme King, because we see Treble say that everyone's passed out, that must be Haki. So even from this young age, he was able to do this.
Crazy.
And then, as Doflamingo got older, we see his cruelty, continued. And he has this bird cage going over Minion Island here. And one of the boys gets out, which was actually Drie, which we established previously was Drake. this actually shows how Drake joined the Navy. He escaped his father. He happened to be outside the birdcage when it closed, so he got out just in time. So his father was pretty much abusive to him. So he did not want to stay with his father. So he actually, this was like a way for him to escape and try to get a better life for himself. So we see Drake gets taken by the Navy. That's how he probably joins them from a young age and finds a new purpose in life, a new direction to try to live a better life than his father did. But then we see he also ends up becoming a pirate. But there's also kind of parallels. Rocinante, who we also find out joined the Navy because when he was a kid, he got taken in. So when Rocinante lost his family, like Sengoku kind of took him in and was like probably like a father to him as well. So we kind of see like how the Navy can take these boys in and try to be like this influence from a young age and try to raise them what they see as being the right way. But it's like they find some kind of purpose in the Navy. So they take these boys that have nowhere else to go and then they kind of use them to become Navy officers.
It's just another cult.
Yeah.
I was just really hate seeing on the next page, Baby 5 in Buffalo doing recon. It just really makes me sick just seeing them in this cult so young.
Yeah. But they're trying to prove they have something to offer. And they're trying to contribute to the family. And fortunately Rocinante wasn't able to drive them out.
Mm-mm.
Okay, we got anything else on this one?
Nope. I'm good.
I do just think the panels of law inside the chest listening to the entire conversation are really well done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that it's the only thing he can experience when we're right there with him. But yeah. Pour one out for Rocinante. What a guy.
All right. Well, let's move on to the solitary journey of Jinbei, First Time to See, Volume 15. I definitely saw that ruin fall just now. Jinbei is shocked to witness a new part of the ruins fall from the sky onto the other ruins that were already on the island. The Jinbei shocked face.
The Jinbei shock face.
The eyes bulging out.
Also looks like there's a sea cow or something fallen.
I think that's the sheriff dog, the sea dog.
Oh, the sea dog.
But what's he doing here?
Oh, yeah. What?
All right, so that mystery continues. And so do we as we go on to chapter 768, The Trigger That Day. Back in the present, Law continues his fight with Doflamingo, determined to defeat him to finally become free like Cora wished for him. Now knowing Doflamingo is a former celestial dragon, Law tells him that, like Luffy, he is also a D, indicating that they are fated to fight each other. Viola uses her powers to check in on the multiple battles going on. Seeing how wounded the combatants are, she suspects the battles will be ending soon, but their fate will hinge on Doflamingo's defeat. Law tells Doflamingo that Cora was too kind to pull the trigger that day, but Law is here to do it for him.
This jump cut back to reality was a little jarring for me, but I think it was just because we had like the holiday break in between, like in the middle of the flashback. But I do think it flashes back to reality in a really cool way. Like we come back into the fight with Law and Dofi, and now we kind of get where Law's coming from with all this background and the vendetta that he's had against Doflamingo. And we also see like the inherited will that he got from Corazon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That he's carrying through into this fight.
Yeah, because we had previously had the moment where Law was fighting Doflamingo on the bridge to Greenbit, and he mentioned that he was trying to carry on Corazon's will.
Yeah.
So we see what really he wanted was for Law to be free, but he can't be free until he takes on Doflamingo, because Doflamingo's always going to try to trap him. So in order to get free from Doflamingo's influence, he has to take him down.
It just hurts to me though, because it still feels like Law feels like he's indebted,
which may be the case,
rather than something that's inherited. So it's like, it's so close. I'm so close to it's so close to being, oh, that's great for you, but it just because of that little respect, like, oh no, you're still, like he says, he's not free.
Yeah,
but he
could. When you mentioned that,
Corazon, I don't think Corazon would even want him here right now.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
True.
But the circumstances, like you mentioned, do dictate that he is.
Yeah.
Just one way or another, it's going to be a confrontation, whether Law states or Doflamingo does.
Yeah, when you had mentioned it previously, how it felt like transactional in a way where it's like he had to do this to pay him back. This is how I was also thinking, like, it's the same situation where this feels transactional in a way where he's like, I'm doing this for Cora.
Mhm.
So that's how he's trying to justify it, where it still feels like he's doing it as a way to pay him back.
And it's even like it's even like we said, like last chapter with Baby Five and Buffalo being at the operation. They have to prove their worth. They have to do something for the family. Like that is just so ingrained to like their culture in this group.
Yeah.
It's just I hate it for him. Ah.
You know what I also can't help but notice in these first few panels of them fighting is that Dofi is not smiling. Dofi is very much frowning. And
Yeah.
you don't see that very often, if ever.
Right.
Like,
That's a good point. Yeah, 'cause he's not happy that Law is like trying to stand up to him.
yeah. That's a big old frown.
Oh, I actually wanted to kind of mention this earlier where we kind of got more information that part of the reason why Doflamingo was grooming Law and wanted him to be the right hand man was to give him the op fruit to then use on him. So he was kind of like, I'm doing this to make you formidable, and then you can do this for me. So again, it was a transactional thing, but yeah, he didn't do it because he cared about Law. He just saw him as a tool that he could use to give him the immortality eventually.
And not to go too far, but I feel like this also just ties into like all these like little discussions we had throughout the arc about Doflamingo and does he actually care about the family or not?
Right.
To him, that is caring. To him, a caring father keeps you in the Holy Land and makes sure you can have everything you want. And so this family, okay, if my family cares about me, they're going to do what I say and they're going to have this exchange.
It is
It's a
transactional.
transactional.
All it is to him.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just another business
Asshole.
deal.
We're a family here. Fuck you.
He is every terrible middle manager in an office job, just like amped up to 11.
He thinks
It's
he's
about
doing such a
synergy.
job.
Although
If it
I
was
do
up to
wonder,
Doflamingo, he would put up like corny posters of just like and work together for the family of the company. Just like
Just
Looks
loungy
awful
on a
shit.
chill bar. Hang
Yep.
in there,
Yeah,
baby.
hang in there,
Hang
yep.
in there, baby.
I know I said I didn't want to go too far, but I fear I
No.
have.
No.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It is so nice seeing Law like get even for just a second get the jump on Dofi real quick.
Yeah.
Dofi paired it with the armament, but he drew blood. It's something.
It's something.
Can we give a quick shout out to Viola though for giving this play-by-play?
Oh
She
yeah.
was feeling it. She was feeling it. Hey, what's going on? Viola's like, I got you.
I got you. Let me drop some exposition.
I got you.
It's probably been
I'm
like
gonna give you everyone's full ass name.
it's probably been like 3 months, like when these chapters are coming out. It's like, by the way, we were in this flashback for a while. You guys probably didn't remember what's going on, so let me give you this little recap.
Last time on One
We needed
Piece.
it. I know I needed it after being off the podcast for 2 weeks.
Same.
Yeah, I do love the line where Law says that Cora's too kind heart to pull the trigger that day, so I've come to do it for him.
Yes.
He's like, I'm
Great
here to finish
line.
the job.
Law's been sitting on that one for some time. It landed. It landed. For real though. I wrote that one down too. I was like, that was sick.
Mm-hmm.
I think we also learned here that Dellinger is actually a fighting fishman, which we've been seeing the fighting fish throughout Dressrosa. So I think it's interesting that he's a fishman of that variety, which explains the horns. So he must have horns under the hat.
And a little
That's
shark
just
on his
that.
cap too.
What's that?
It's then a little shark on his cap too. I never noticed that before.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I have on this one. Do you guys have anything else?
Lao G just yelling G when he kicks this guy in the face made me laugh for whatever reason. Because we know like very little about Lao G, but he yells G a lot, and I think that's hilarious.
What did you just say?
Oh, gee whiz. Golly gee.
God.
Ooh, Evan, what do you think of Haryuden, the giant?
From this chapter? Who are we talking about? Or from the Coliseum?
I think he appears briefly in this one. I know he appears. Yeah, because the guy falls on top of him here. 10-ton
Yeah, Mock
Vice.
Vice. Yeah.
Mock Vice falls on top of him for a bit. I don't know if he's gotten much. I asked because he's a character I quite enjoy. I'll just say.
All right. I don't think I have a strong opinion yet.
That's okay. You will.
In the Coliseum for a sec. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked pretty cool when he was getting the Mock Vice falling on him.
Yeah. Real cool.
Okay, we'll get there. Maybe I have to come back next week. We'll see.
Maybe you do.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see more of the gladiator combatants here, so this is just like the little check back in. So there's gonna be more coming up. All right, but let's move on to the next part of the cover story with the solitary journey of Jinbei, First Son of the Sea, Volume 16. A shadow vanishes into the depths. The culprit is in the water. Jinbei dives into the sea to chase after whatever threw the chunk of ruin.
Jinbei is on the case.
He looks so determined. Like the little fish are like, oh, he went that way. Okay. Let's move on to the last chapter for the episode with chapter 769, Bellamy the Pirate. Law cuts off a corner of the palace and attempts to smash Doflamingo with it. Doflamingo starts to see Law's moves as being too predictable, catching him by the arm. He tells Law he should have just let Kaido deal with him instead of trying to take him down personally, since he is outmatched. Things are too personal for Law, and Doflamingo admits that if Law had given Rosante's message to anyone other than Virgo, he could have prevented the tragedies of Dressrosa that took place from him taking over the throne. Law finds it interesting that even Doflamingo referred to these events as tragedies. Doflamingo says in the end, it doesn't matter as he would have changed his plans and then taken over the kingdom anyway. Doflamingo uses his string fruit to create a saw out of his leg and saws Law's right arm off. Doflamingo says he forgives Law the same way he forgave his brother, with death. Before he can pull the trigger on the pistol, Luffy's attack sends the Doflamingo string double flying through the roof of the chamber he was battling Bellamy in, ending right next to the real Doflamingo. Luffy urges Bellamy to stop and begs Doflamingo to let Bellamy go, otherwise he will die. Amused that Bellamy is still alive, Doflamingo tells him that he's free. Bellamy realizes he put his faith in the wrong person, but he has to commit to his decision. He tells Luffy to stop having pity for his enemy, then unleashes his spring hopper. He tells Luffy he's stronger than he was before, but this will be his last battle.
God damn it, Bellamy. This man, the definition of sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, this is a matter of pride.
Words, Sean.
What?
I missed your way with words, Sean. That was just the
I-
perfect way to put
I
it.
do my best. Also, here's a meme for you guys in a podcast discussion for later.
We got meme. We got meme. That's a good
I gotta
meme.
see this.
Joe might have to add it to the screen for everybody. They can't miss out on this.
Is it Columbo?
Columbo. It's Jim Columbo.
Jalumbo.
Columbo.
Yeah, so thoughts of this one?
I mean, just the start, the spiderweb's such a neat attack, but I love seeing environments get used in fights.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we haven't had like as much of. It's been like it's been a thing here and there, but I really love it when we're able to get this to work.
Yeah, it's a little disheartening to see Law struggling in like a perfect environment where like he has like flying rocks everywhere. It's like he's in his room, in his space, doing what he needs to do. And Dofi's just faster. Dofi's just more experienced. I guess also seeing in the flashback, like Dofi, like we said, had the hockey since he was little. He's had these devil fruits forever. He's just more experienced. Like he just is faster, quicker. He's done his homework. Not that Law hasn't, but he's just like, this is old hat for him.
This is not as extreme, obviously, not as extreme of a power differential, but it is funny. It's kind of a minuscule repeat of the Luffy Bellamy fight of just like, oh, Bellamy thought he was, it's like, it just doesn't matter because Luffy was just so much stronger, happening right below them again. So
How do we think that one's going to play out?
yeah, we'll see.
And Law losing an arm here is devastating. I don't know if he's going to be able to surgeon that back on. I don't know if his powers work in reverse like that, but I hope they do.
Yeah, that one's rough.
Yeah.
That's
Gotta
brutal.
put it on ice.
But can he use his power to correct it?
I mean,
He's popped off arms all the time. just gotta
probably,
pop 'em back
right?
on.
Gotta pop it back on.
Or
Yeah.
like,
If you can pop if you can pop a whole dude onto an animal, Punk Hazard. But did he cut the
Right.
animals first? I think that's the question. Does Law have to have cut the thing in order for it to function after he puts it together?
I think we're about to find out.
I
yeah, or
hope it
Doflamingo,
works
hey,
out.
you mind lending me some strings there? You can put that back on.
Mind sewing this back on real quick?
We get Leo. Maybe Leo can help out.
We see
Yeah,
Law go
fuck
for the
Kofi,
heart.
Leo.
Oh, was that Evan?
I was just saying we saw
Mm.
Law going for Dofi's heart. He tried
Yeah.
to suture him. Or not suture.
Scalpel.
Scalpel.
Dual heart surgery.
Right.
But Dofi's like, I know that one. Seen it before. I think another standout for me is Bellamy's like rally here. It feels so cinematic with like it feels like it's cutting back and forth. It's like we're getting like the montage of all these motivating moments in his life and like the character development that he's had over the course of this series, and
Mhm.
it felt like very cinematic, him getting back up here at the end. Maybe a little foolhardily, but hey.
But, I mean, you gotta respect the grit,
Gotta respect the send.
which is what he says on his way up. But yeah, but yeah, I mean, he like I do respect Bellamy for staying back up and fighting, even though he knows that Luffy's always been stronger than him, and he doesn't feel the same level of commitment to Doflamingo because he doesn't have a path through Doflamingo anymore. He's always trying to get a leg up on everybody else by riding Doflamingo's coattails, but Bellamy has come to terms with the fact that that's not really a path for him, and he's not going to become great by following in somebody else's footsteps or shadow. But even with all that, he is standing by his decision as a person with pride, and because he made his choice, he's going to fight through it. And he asked Luffy to not have pity on him and to not treat him like anything other than an enemy, because they are enemies right now. I know we had like this moment with the Coliseum where we thought like, they might have been developing more of like a bond, but we see that it couldn't happen because of like they were just on two different sides. And even though Bellamy's had kind of like a reality check, like he has to see this through for his own pride to kind of prove it to himself.
It's hard not to root for him here.
Eh.
I'll root for him to get punched in
Not
the
that
face and
hard.
back to his senses. I'll root for that.
that's about where I end up. It's like, okay, dumbass. Like
That's fair.
That's fair.
I'm with Sean. Sunk cost fallacy.
it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I find it
Like
more
if it's like you
admirable.
learn, sure.
Yeah.
But like otherwise, hey man, we don't need to. But like, sure. If you can use some
Okay.
closure real quick.
But yeah, he's just somebody who is pursuing like validation from the wrong people for the wrong reasons. And he's not like his journey is probably not over of him growing as a person, but like yeah, there is that level of growth, but clearly he has more room to grow. I'm not saying like he's reached that point, but there's this level of growth that he has. But when it comes to the series, there is a respect for people who have their beliefs and they fight for them. And a lot of the times the beliefs come down to who can win in the fight. Like basically that's what it comes down to. So in this case here, I also like that Luffy is showing concern for Bellamy and he's like, we don't have to fight. But for Bellamy, it's not an option because that'd be like, oh, it's maybe that's the same level, but it'd be like you can't tell Luffy to not become king of the pirates or to give up on that. You can't just tell him to not do something. So Bellamy's kind of like in the same boat, whereas you can't tell me what to do. Like this has to be my decision, and I made this decision already. I have to commit to it. I'm not saying it's a good decision, but
Sure.
it's the way that he goes
It's
about
a
it
decision
I
that
like,
works
yeah.
in the One Piece world, which is
Right.
It's like in this heightened shonen universe. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
it's another one of those that I have to you just have to kind of roll with.
Yeah, you just have to look
Yeah.
at it through that lens. It's always going to have like that filter over it. But he goes back to his classic move that worked out so well for him last time, the spring hopper.
This
Philip
time
Sesty.
it's better.
It's faster now. I mean,
I'm
you'd
sure
think he'd
you
come up
haven't
with a new
improved at all
technique.
since Skypiea.
I certainly haven't seen it in the Coliseum.
Nope.
So I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, and that's where we leave it. Any final thoughts for this chapter or the volume so far?
I mean, I think this was another backstory masterpiece by Oda, and set us up, I think, so well for this boss battle that we find ourselves in the middle of,
Yeah.
and all the other battles that are happening. I mean, there's like so much happening right now, but yeah, I'm very excited to see where this battle ends up.
For sure.
I feel like just thinking more on Bellamy, like it's getting into this idea of penance. Oh, I made the wrong decision, therefore I have to like see the consequences for it. And then seeing that, but also seeing the way Law is carrying the weight of Cora's own through into the battle with Doflamingo. I'm liking this theme for Dressrosa. I mean, we've seen it also, like, I think with Riku. I'm just really excited to see where Oda goes that as we head into the climax here.
Yeah.
It's a lens I haven't looked at from before, so I'm excited to see how it all shakes out. And also just Rocinante. Easily one of my top 5 characters in this story. Just A+.
Yeah.
A+, what a mensch.
Yeah, I think the Rocinante flashback is also widely considered one of the strongest, one of the most heartbreaking in the series. And Oda does such a great job of letting us feel connected to this character. And again, like Oda does such a good job, like making us like these characters very quickly. But to introduce these characters like in this flashback that we don't know, but like we know is important to Law. And then as we start to get things fleshed out and see, this history that these characters have, and then like we become attached to them as well, and seeing like the trauma and the tragedy that they've all had to experience, it's done so well, and it makes you feel for the characters, and have like a level of like admiration for them, and it gives it a lot more context to like who they are and what their motives are and why they make these decisions. But I think this flashback gives us a lot of interesting elements of the story, but it is also good to now get back into the present of Dressrosa. So it's exciting to see how the rest of this arc is going to play out from here. And Sean, since you have been on for a
Quite some
little
time.
while, yeah, do you want to give us some of your general thoughts of Dressrosa up to this point?
I see. So here's the problem. I have not. My brain is like I don't know what's happened and what's been revealed so far,
Okay.
particularly around the toys and the how far are we? We're pretty much in the end game right now. Aside from or like I don't know. In the next few chapters, something happens that I fucking hate.
Okay.
With a certain character, I will just say in general, I Dressrosa, I love the backstory stuff. I love the Law stuff. I love the Doflamingo stuff. I hate Rebecca. I hate what she stands for as this just like I'm a character who can't I'm a fighter, but I don't fight because God forbid a woman ever actually physically fight in an Oda story. God forbid. At best they get some powers, but they never get to punch or slash or fight or anything like that. So I love the Doflamingo stuff. I love the Rocinante stuff. I love the Law stuff. But man, I hate Rebecca. We could get to that if I come back next Monday. But yeah, I like Viola. Viola's cool, but she's a hell of a lot better here than she is in the anime, where they put massacre what she looks like. But
fucking balloon fruit
yeah,
in the anime.
I could complain about but it's yeah, I mean I just love the world noble stuff. The it just really adds a layer to this. Like the first time you see Doflamingo like ambling up into to Marijois or something, it's like, how the fuck would you ever guess this guy used to be a celestial dragon? He looks like this like street punk asshole who found a bunch of money and is like spending it all on like hookers and blow. And it's just like, and then you're like, oh, okay, so that's why he wants to project that air of confidence, because he lost it all in him.
Well, he did walk up to it like he owned the place.
He did, and he sort of used to.
What about Sabo?
Sabo, I grew on me. At first, it was kind of like, oh, there's another brother. Okay, but I really like Dadan. I really like all of that stuff. And then by the end, by the final bit of that story with Sabo, I was like, okay, this works. And I grew to really like him.
All right. So that is going to conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on YouTube channel at We Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler-free channel up to where we record the podcast. If you're new to the series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Pirate King Codex for more One Piece content. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can reach us at werereadingonepiece@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from listeners, so if you're enjoying the show, or if you have any suggestions on how we can make it better, let us know. Next episode, we'll be finishing Volume 77, Smile. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Evan.
Thanks for listening.
Cody.
Happy 100 episodes. Thank you, Sean.
And Sean.
Woo-hoo! Happy 100.
All right. Well, be sure to bring along all hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Remember this face!